Hey laddies, how's it going? How's it hanging? It's your girl TheScorpioSimmer here, and today we are back with a little bit of a different video. It's not a cast video, but it's still a Sims video. So this is actually a collab with one of my favorite Simmers ever, Simmerboi. She has a machinima, and it's called The Witching Hour. It's amazing. Go and watch it if you're into magic. If you like Harry Potter, you'd probably like this. She contacted me after I did my Sagittarius Zodiac cast video. I was like, hey, would you like to compare the zodiac signs of my characters in my show? And I said, absolutely. I told her my guesses for what I thought all her characters were, and she told me what they actually were. I got 2 out of the 4 right, so I'm kind of a genius. I don't know if you've ever heard. I'm gonna share my thoughts, just sort of, you know, what I'm thinking. What I think of the characters, what I think of the show, what I think of how their zodiac signs relate to their traits. She's doing all of the visuals that you are seeing right now. She's taking clips from her show and putting it into this video, which I am ever so grateful for. So thank you so much for putting the time and effort into it. I sincerely appreciate it. Okay, but enough rambling. Let's get on into it. The series focuses on 4 main witches. Their names are Amber, Josie, Ivana, and Katja. It's Katja. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. But it focuses around those 4 main characters, and they're all witches from different covens or covens. I also don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's coven. I don't know. Anyways, so they're all from different covens, and they each have their own separate thing. Once again, go watch the video. I will link it below, actually. I will link the entire playlist if you want to go watch it from beginning to end. Well, beginning to where we are now. I'm reading over the DMs right now, like as we speak. I have it in my hand. Okay, so my first guess was Amber. So I guess that Amber was an Aquarius. And my reason behind that was I basically thought, you know, she's very like in tune. She does a lot of like tarot reading and, you know, does a lot of psychic stuff. And I figured, you know, psychics are really in tune with that sort of stuff. And I wasn't gonna guess Scorpio because of another character, which I will explain. So I figured the next best guess was an Aquarius because they can be very in tune. Aquariuses are very psychic sometimes. They're very out there. They're very unique, which I thought this character was. I thought she was very unique. I thought she had her own mind. You know, she was like, nobody's going to tell her what to do, whatever. And it turns out she is actually a Gemini. She didn't really go into detail about Amber specifically, but she said that she's a Gemini. What I would think the reason behind that is just because, you know, she's also very psychic. I think Geminis are also very psychic sometimes. And, you know, she's got like one side that she like shows people, but then she's got like another side that she doesn't really show people, that sort of stays hidden, but it can come out. And there's a light and a dark. And obviously the Gemini sign is twin. Just imagine, like, you know, in theater shows where they have like the 2 masks and like one of them smiling and like one of them is like crying, I don't know, something. But you know how like theater places have that? I can insert a picture right here. I'll insert one. That's sort of what it's like to be a Gemini, and I think that that accurately describes her. So next we're gonna go with Josie. So I actually had a really hard time thinking of what sign she was, but I ended up settling for Cancer, which was right. The reason I settled on Cancer is because she's very emotional. She's very like in tune with her emotions. Very passive, doesn't really want to fight. I imagine Cancers as a very innocent person. They're very childlike. That's the best way I can describe them. They maintain a lot of innocence. I don't know why she was so hard for me in hindsight, because the more I see this series, the more I'm like, she's definitely a Cancer. Absolutely a Cancer. Alright, moving on. Ivana. So Ivana, I originally thought she was an Aries, and one of the main reasons was her hair, because whenever I see red, I think of Aries. And another reason was her temper. She has a very high temper, gets very mad easily, hates men. She's very angry for no reason, has a hot temper, and thinks she's always right. She has a girlfriend in the show. I think her name's Rhiannon. She's a little bit detached from her. She isn't really like super in love with her. And I thought Aries tend to play mind games. You all know how much I hate Aries. I actually plan on making a video about that someday. Let me know if you're interested. I thought that because this is one of the main reasons. So Aries, they like to chase. They like to snag somebody up and like make them mine, but once they are theirs, they'll just be like, forget it. I don't want you anymore. That's sort of how they are. It turns out she's actually a Libra, which very much so surprised me, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I have Simmerboi's DM up here, and she says, I know Ivana is a pretty uncommon Libra, but I based some of her personality off a friend of mine who is a Libra, so So I see where she's coming from. She says that her friend also has a Scorpio ascendant, which, if you don't know what a descendant sign or a rising sign is, it's basically how you come off to the world. So her friend comes off as a Scorpio, and it comes out in an angrier way. Because fun fact, Scorpio used to be ruled by Mars. It is now ruled by Pluto. So I see where that's coming from. Because Libras, they're not very blunt. I wouldn't say they're very blunt like a Scorpio is, but combined with the Scorpio energy, what she's talking about, it's a disaster, because Libras tend to get annoyed very easily from what I've, sort of experienced, in that annoyance and frustration and anger can just combust. I see where she's coming from with that. And finally, we are on to our last sim, which is Katja. I guessed right away, like I just looked at her and I was like, that's a Scorpio. Like there's no way that's not a Scorpio. And I was right, it's a Scorpio. She's a Scorpio. She wears very dark clothing. She just kind of has like an I don't give a shit attitude. Hides her emotions. Very, 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 very Scorpio-like. She's like the epitome of a Scorpio. She does a lot of dark magic. She comes from a very dark coven. It's the darkest out of all four of them. And yeah, she's absolutely, definitely a Scorpio. But I did want to talk about the character development a little bit and who my favorite characters are. So I really do like all the characters. I think they're all very well developed. I think that they're amazing, amazing, amazing. But if I have to pick a favorite, I mean, I don't think it comes as a surprise, but it's definitely Katja. By far, it's Katja. She's amazing. She's beautiful, first of all. Drop dead gorgeous. Another sign of a Scorpio. It's like she knows what she wants. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She's very in tune with herself. She's very in tune with her surroundings. And I love her. She really creates a good dynamic for the show. And I really hope she doesn't die. That's all I gotta say. Because if any of them die, I'll be upset. But if Katja dies, I'll be the most upset. I think second, I really like Josie as a character. I think she's super cute. Personally, I love cancers myself. Sucker for a good cancer. But I think that she's very much the opposite of Katja, but in a good way. Also, I love the name Josie. Josie's such a cute name. I think that she's so sweet, and I think she adds like a good level of innocence, because otherwise I think it'd be a very, very dark show and it's just nothing but darkness. But she adds a little bit of light. I also really like Ivana's character. I think that she's such a badass. I love the idea of an all-girls coven, that she's only grown up with women. I love that. Hello. And I think it's so cool that, she's obviously LGBTQ. And I think it's really cool that she's representing LGBTQ rights. And I think that that's an important issue to talk about. And obviously Amber. I feel like Amber's like the main character out of all of them. She just has a very important role. She sees into the future, which has always been my favorite superpower, by the way. I've always loved being able to read minds, being able to see into the future, stuff like that. And that's about it for this. Thank you guys so much for coming to my TED Talk. Please like, comment, and subscribe, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. And guys, please make sure to go check out Simmerboi's YouTube channel. I will link her down below, as well as her Witching Hour series. Can't recommend it enough. Alright, before I start rambling again, I'll see you guys later. Bye!